Hello, hello. So, how is your journey of Global Student Empowerment Program going on? Is it exciting? Have you learned some more skills along with your study skills like memory technique? I'm sure it must be. Now, here today there's another session on removing negative emotions. There was this girl, Kriti, and she was very articulate, extrovert, very friendly. Everyone used to love speaking to her. And she used to be able to convince her teacher, her parents, everyone uh, very quickly. And all of her friends and her little brother used to say, "Hey, you go and speak to mama. You go and speak to papa for going out, or you go and speak to the teacher because you are able to convince them. They listen to you." So she was very famous. And one day her teacher came to her, "Hey, Kriti, there's a debate competition which is for 10 minutes in 20 days from now. And the topic is impact of Instagram on a 10-year-old." And she was 10-year-old studying in grade 4. So she agreed. She did a lot of preparation. She had a lot of content, practice, and examples, and she was well prepared. So the D-Day came after 20 days, and she went onto the stage. And imagine what happened. Her voice choked. Her heart started loudly pounding. She did not know what to say. Her voice froze. She couldn't speak a word. And then she swallowed her saliva and then she started to speak slowly. And then after 2 to 3 minutes, she gained some momentum, and then she completed the topic in 10 minutes. She came back and her teacher said, "Hey, Kriti, what happened? You were so well prepared and you knew the topic. What happened?" She started crying. She said, "Madam, I don't know. The moment I went onto the stage, I felt everyone was pointing fingers at me and they were saying, 'Hey, she doesn't know how to speak and she will fail.' And I became so conscious and I became scared. So there was a fear that gripped over me and my throat got choked." So her teacher was very sorry to see that because she was such a lovely child and she spoke so well. Anyway, so these things happen, and that emotion, that fear wasn't in her at that time, but it came from somewhere from behind. What had happened? Now, you know that there are two minds. There's a conscious mind and there's a smaller brother, which is subconscious in all of us. There were two brothers, Michael and Anthony. And Michael used to take Anthony whenever he used to drive the car. And he was a very rash driver. So he would jump red lights, he would jump traffic signals, and he would go around. And then he used to teach Anthony, the smaller brother, also how to drive a car. So one day they were both going to their auntie's place, and then Michael, who was driving the car, hit a tree and he fainted. Now, Anthony's smaller brother, he did not know what to do, though he didn't have a mobile. So he thought, okay, let me take the car, and because I know driving a little bit, let me drive and take him to a nearby place where I can see somebody who can help us. And so he took the steering wheel and he started driving the car. And guess what happened? He hit a motorcycle and he also fainted. Now, what had happened here? Because he started following his elder brother, Michael's way of teaching him the driving. So, whatever conscious of elder brother teaches subconscious, it is the same thing that subconscious starts relaying or playing in the life. So, same thing happens to us as well. Suppose somebody has insulted us and you feel hurt. So, subconscious mind, the smaller brother, stores that hurt inside you. Okay. And after 6 months, somebody else insults you and that hurt pops out. 5 years later, somebody insults you big time and the hurt pops out. So every time somebody insults you, the hurt pops out. Now, what is the right way of doing? You should not allow the hurt to be stored. One, you can remove the hurt, and another is you close that event with a positive ending, not with the hurt. So if somebody insults you, you can't counter argue and give your own opinion why he should not be insulting you, and that you had an equal opportunity and a right to give your opinion. So you close the subject such that both of you are in agreement and then leave the situation. So this is what the subconscious does. It stores everything. It doesn't ask you. It just stores everything. Good, bad, ugly, it stores. Okay. So today we are going to see what all can be stored and what all can be removed. Now, why does this happen? This also happens because of the expectation from the student. All of us, teachers or parents, we all have high expectations from a child, a student, that he should be outstanding in the result. 90 to 100% is the minimum. 90 is the minimum. So children who are scoring 70, I know of a child who scored 68% way long back, and her father did not speak to her for 1 year, and she carried that so big in her that she decided to prove her father wrong, and she became very successful. But on the other hand, her younger brother, he took it against himself, and he lost his confidence, and he could never do well. So each child can take it in a very different way. Expectations can really either drown us or make us successful. The second one is all the parents expect the child to lead a better life than they have lived. So get a high paying job, a business, or whatever. But that's the expectation. And then it is the multi-talented. I know my known person, my friend, who has a child, and she's very talented. But the girl has to go to every class. She goes for ballet, she goes for classical, she goes for kathak, for sports, indoor, outdoor, topper of the class, and she's able to do everything. Yeah, that is because she's 9 years old. Now, when she will become 16 years old, will she know what is her goal? So when the parents don't set up a goal for the child and don't uh, partner with the child to achieve that goal and be focused, the child is confused. I know a lot of cases who come to me and say, "Hey, auntie, can you help me? We don't know what to focus on." And then I know of another case where my friend's daughter, who's 13-year-old, is an international singer. From the age when she was 2, 3, she was an opera singer. She went to Australia at the age of, I think, 6 or 7 to sing opera. She's 13, she's in Mumbai, because her parents moved around just to make sure that she's focused and she gets the right kind of grooming and guidance and classes only in singing, only in opera and only in singing. And she's become an international singer. She sings with very, very pop singers. So it's all about focus. And second, and lastly, it is about being the winner, which is a big expectation from the child. They're not only supposed to be participating everywhere, but they're also supposed to be winning. So if you don't, you you are in such a competitive world that you just feel as if you have failed. It's not that you've failed, but sometimes people just don't get the position of first or second or third. And if you have scored anything less than 90% in India, children get a very low self-confidence. So the reasons that cause these negative emotions can be outside you. Parents love the children and they always want the best for themselves, for them and the children. So they always ask the children to be good at everything, not knowing that their expectations could put pressure on the child. Similarly, the teachers, they are so fond of the children that they work with, and they spend a lot of time with the kids. They go out of their way, they show them the videos, they give the reference of the books, they sometimes give them tuitions, which they're not supposed to. So they go out of the way, they call the parents and they give them the feedback. And they work with the parents to develop the child. So with all of their good intentions, they do put a little pressure on the children unknowingly. And then you have peers, the siblings and the friends and the cousins who may be doing well in another area. And sometimes we also have the habit, I should be good at that and this. And what I'm good at is okay. But I should also be good at what he's good at or he's good at. So we want to master everything because that is the belief system that we have lived in, or the environment that we have seen from a childhood. And some of our friends and siblings are, they're very good. They're supporting us. They say to us, "Hey, let me help you. Let me show you how to do this." Even though your learning ability may be different from them on that particular subject, but you want to do your best and give your best in everything. And we ourselves put a pressure based on somebody else's help or expectation. And there are some reasons within you. I know of a child who had an aptitude for computers. Okay, so he was sent for computer engineering in Canada, and after 6 months, he said, "No, I don't like this. I want to do sciences, not the engineering, not the computer." So he moved from computer to general engineering in first month, and then in the 6th month, yeah, in the 6th month, he moved from engineering to sciences. He said, "No, I just don't have the aptitude. I don't want to do that." And then there is something called interest. Even though he had the aptitude to do sciences or even to do engineering, he could have developed that. But his interest was into becoming a chef. He loved cooking. Wherever he went, he loved cooking. So there is aptitude, and there is also interest and passion. And there is a belief system. I know of another person, yeah, he's not a child anymore. He's 28 years old, and he comes from a family where everyone is civil services. So they're into police or IAS or IPS. So they have been into civil services in India. And then he passed out. He did very well in his life, and he did engineering, and he moved to another country, and he's heading a factory. But whenever he goes back to his home country in that family, he's looked down upon because they say, "Oh, you could not pass the civil services, so that's the reason you had to do engineering." And because of this belief system, he still does not feel as if he's competent enough or he is complete. He feels that he has failed in something. And that is why he's taken something else as a compensation. So belief systems sometimes don't help us. And most of the times it does help us. So how does it impact? The biggest impact is loss of focus. When you are trying to be jack of all, do you think you can be focused? And as I gave you an example, only a child who was singing from the time she was 2 years old, she can become a star or an international singer at the age of 13. You speak or interview any successful singer or a player. Yeah, you interview the captain of a cricket team or a football team and ask them since what age have they been playing. They will tell you since the age of 2 or 3 or 4, even when they were very little child, they started playing at their home, just because that is the way they were getting focused, and they were not playing all the game, they were just playing one game. And then it's about the low self-confidence. It's not that they don't know, but just because they see so much of competition around the world, and they are expected to do well in every field, they lose the confidence in themselves, because they may be doing well in studies, for example, and not doing very well in sports. But if the expectation is to do well everywhere, they lose the confidence in the other thing, which actually reflects also in studies and the complete performance. And have you heard that the children get into depression? They mentally or emotionally damage themselves, they hurt themselves. So paranoia is becoming a big thing in small children and students, which they are growing up with. So what we need to do is build our resilience, become more strength. So even if there are expectations outside, or if it starts to develop inside, we become aware of our negative emotions and shoo them away. So what do we do? How do we become an inspired student? There are simple techniques of cutting fear with the scissors. Let's do it, and let's watch this video. Hello friends, do you know there are some very quick, small, fast techniques to remove any of your negative emotions? Now, you will not believe it, I know. Let me give you an example. There is a 2-year-old boy and he writes and scribbles on a piece of paper saying, "Mom, I love you." And it was her birthday that day. He gives the card to his mom. And mom, after 40 years, also is keeping that card. You know why? Because she was so much overwhelmed with the boy's love that was translated into that piece of paper onto the card, and she could still feel that love whenever she picked up that card. So, it is possible to transfer your emotions onto a piece of paper. So, now I'm going to tell you in 3 simple steps a technique wherein you can remove any negative emotion. But for today, we will take an example of fear for your maths exams. Okay, but let's say fear. Okay, so now step number one is take a deep breath. Now, step number two is you visualize that you are in an exam. In your maths exam, you're in the exam room, you see the question paper, and you are fearful because you don't know any of the answers. You are so fearful. Put yourself into that situation and feel that a feeling of fear inside you. Okay, and then after that, take a piece of paper and write fear on that. You can also be very specific and write fear of maths exam or fear of physics exams. Whatever fear, specific fear you have, you can write it on the piece of paper. And now step number three is that you take that piece of paper, take the scissor, okay, and cut the paper. Then you cut it into half again, and then again, and you make sure that it has become very small. So you make the paper very small, and then after you have very small pieces of paper, you can do either of these three things. One, you can flush it in the toilet. Yeah. Number two, you can burn it in the fire. Or number three is that you can just put it in the trash bin, and you will realize that the fear has actually gone. Easy, isn't it? Try it, it works. Hey, so how did you find that? Easy, isn't it? And now I want to remind you about one movie of Bollywood, which is called Jab We Met. I love that movie. Have you seen it? So some of the techniques were so positive, and one of them was this actress Kareena Kapoor. She used to do kickboxing, and she was teaching how to remove the negative emotions through kickboxing. And so today I have another video for you just to teach you how to kick away the negative emotions. Hi, today we are going to remove fear before the exam through a very simple technique. So just imagine the previous night or even 1 hour before, you have this fear and we all pray, oh my God, I hope the questions that are going to come in the exam are easy. They're coming from the portion that we have studied and I'm able to answer all the questions that are coming. However, the fear is still there. Yeah. So what do you do before one night before to remove the fear so that you can have a very good night's sleep? So this is what you do. You put the fear in the inward on a piece of paper, or you can just visualize that fear is a cushion. Yeah, something like this. So either you can put it on a piece of paper and stick it to the cushion, or you can imagine that cushion is fear. And then you just take out all your emotions, all the fear, and punch the fear. Punch it such that it just gets turned off and there is no more fear. Punch it, punch it, punch it. Punch the cushion if the fear has gone off until you feel that there is no more fear in your heart and you are smiling when you think of the exam. It works, trust me, do it. So how was the technique? Interesting, isn't it? These are simple techniques, but they do work. The only thing that you have to do is to visualize it with all of your emotions and heart and make sure what you're doing is very strong. The action has to be very strong emotionally. And then there is another technique of flushing the fear, which we have just discussed. So you write on a piece of paper or on a tissue, because you cannot flush the paper in the toilet. So you can put it on a tissue and put all your emotions, the negative emotions, the anxiety, the fear of the exam or fear of what for a particular event, and just roll it and flush it into the toilet. it just goes away. Now, you know, there is another technique called shooing away distraction. Does it happen that you just don't want one day before the exams for your friend who keeps calling you and asks you to come and play outside? So if you have any such thing, what you do is you imagine a picture. Okay, so imagine a picture that your friend is coming asking you to play a cricket match. Okay, so you're playing cricket match with your friend and you put that as a picture. Now obviously it's a nice picture, it's a big colorful picture because that's something you love. But at this point of time you don't want to love it, you want to stop thinking about it. So what you do is you, whatever it is, it could be something else, but I'm just giving this example. So you bring that picture up in front of you, yeah, up in front of your face, and then push it back, push it so that it goes very far away from you. Now when you're pushing it back, it is becoming very small, isn't it? Because something that is close to you is big, and when it becomes away, it goes away, it becomes smaller, and then make it smaller. Now paint that picture with gray color, any color that you don't like, because earlier it was bright because you like. So whatever you like, it is painted with bright colors, and there are nice songs on that video or picture. But whatever you don't like, you see or visualize a very dull color. It could be a gray, it could be a black, or it could be even white. So you paint it gray, okay, or black, and make it very small. And then make sure that you take it with a hand, or take it with your hand, and then throw it very far into the sea, and you see it going inside the sea. The sea has salt water, so anything that gets dissolved into the sea is just goes away completely. Now after you finish your exams and you want to bring that picture back to you, yeah, otherwise, because it is already gone, then whenever your friend comes back and he asks you to play, you will not like that picture because you've already removed it. So when you want to bring it back, you visualize the same picture and bring it in front of you, and put some colors and music that you're dancing and going out with your friend for playing, and you have 4 more friends of yours and you have won the game. So these are the ways of removing something and bringing it back. So shoo away your distractions so you can give a very good performance in your exam. So what have we talked about today? One is cutting from the scissor, easy. Then flushing the fear into the toilet, okay, and you can do it anytime. Shoo away your distractions by putting it into the sea. And then we have talked about punching the cushion by kicking it so that the fear goes away. Are these interesting? It will be helpful if you start doing it. Try one, two, or 3 small techniques and let us know if it worked. And if you want one-to-one coaching on cleaning your success blockers because they are in front of you and they're not helping you in the performance, write at nishi@nicheconsulting.net. Take care. Bye-bye.